want to appreciate all of you who have made time on a Friday evening. You could be doing anything under the moon right now, but you all chose to be here. So this is phenomenal. And first of all, that takes something. That's these are the change. This is what I call the change maker recipe. Like you are all the change makers because you could be doing anything, but you chose to be here. So thank you for that. And having said that, moving on to the agenda, I have first question for you. How many opportunities do you think you need to have to transform your world?
Just one.
Okay, perfect. Does everyone else agree with that? Anyone else has an opinion? No? All right. So, yes, that is right. You need just one and your own, right? At least to begin with. Of course, I mean, opportunities don't always, you can't just take a breeze walk, or you cannot always push out on opportunities and miss out on opportunities, or just say, okay, I have a new opportunity, I don't want to venture into it. So you can't say those things. Opportunities are really great to have, but if you're thinking about, okay, I don't have any opportunity, or I have only one, I have only this opportunity to do, or there's only one seat to do one thing, or there's only one opportunity for me to talk about something, then that's all you need. Just make it clear. If you're going to talk about something in a session, like immediately in the near future, or a few weeks from now, or next year, even 6 months from now, whatever it is one opportunity. It all is all it takes in order for you to make that difference to your audience, to the teams, to your families, to your people, to the world, whatever it is, to your own world to begin with. So that is something I always, in this kind of communication or networking, or even sometimes in the technical world. I mean, the most important thing is understanding that it's enough. It's enough to have that one opportunity. If you don't have any, you can start creating your own opportunity, right? So that is something I truly believe in. Why did I ask that question first? Is because um, everything that you do, everything that you say, and everything about your body language, anything about you right here, right this second, is now. See, just as opposed to a software world, as opposed to engineering, where you get to develop, you get to test, and you get to deploy, and then do, uh, stress test, penetration test. You get to do all this kind of tests and then release it to production. Life doesn't work that way. Life is right now. Life is in production all the time, right? You mess up in production. So that's what life is all about. Sorry for doing this kind of a philosophical aspect to it at 8 in the night, but I'm just telling you that's how it is. So every single aspect, or every single body language, every mannerism, every communicate, every word that you say, or how you listen, or um, what your eyes speak. So every single thing is communication. Everything is part of what you're trying to deliver, what you're trying to convey to the world, or to your audience, or to the person that's standing right in front of you. So as you're listening, if I switch tabs, I can see, if for those who have their cameras on, don't turn it off, by the way. I'm just saying, for those who have their cameras on, I can see like what you're trying to communicate. And as I'm speaking, you will probably look at me, and you will probably have the same kind of opinion on me. Like you will have your own thoughts about what I'm trying to communicate right here to you. So use that opportunity wisely, because every moment, I would say, is an opportunity to communicate, and you take that as an opportunity to communicate. You don't always have to be holding the mic and have to, say something, or get the opportunity to stand on the stage in front of 2,000 people to communicate. You are already always communicating. What you're listening, what you're saying, what you're uh, acting, like how you're moving, everything is communication. So make that as a wise action. Convert that opportunity wisely into, put that wisely into action, and make that transform your life for you. I mean, that is something that I have learned hard way as well, because sometimes it took me a while. I should say yoga transformed me to a great extent. Yoga made me realize how important it is to be conscious, to be present all the time, and that even now sometimes I slip, but for the most part, being present, being conscious, and taking the deep breath helps me to come back to reality, and helps me to connect with who I am right this moment, and to communicate effectively. So that's something I wanted to start off the session with. Another question I have for you: what unites you and the rest of the world today?
Technology.
Perfect. Who is that giving all the right answers? Who is that? I just wanted to say thank you.
It was by Gary.
Pyari, thank you, Pyari. And I think the last one was Rujita, or maybe I'm missing the
It
name.
was Arpita.
Arpita. Thank you. Thank you, Arpita, and thank you, Pyari. So, yes, that is right. What unites you and the rest of the world? It's technology. I'm not saying that is the only means of communication or that is the only topic you can talk about, but technology is an area where you have wide range of opportunities. You have so many you can never go wrong if you're communicating or picking your topic around technology. It could be anything. A technology doesn't only have to be coding, doesn't only have to be like hands-on, talking about DevOps, talking about systems talking to each other, integration and all. It can be anything. You can talk about business intelligence, you can talk about analysis of a concept, you can talk about product, you can talk about ideas, you can talk about innovation, you can talk about what do you call marketing, areas of improving marketing operations, anything. All of these fall under the umbrella of technology because you may not know how to solve that using technology, but you know what to solve. You know that technology can help that. So that is exactly a tool that I would think we all should use in whether it's picking your topic or engaging your audience with the topic, or whether you're trying, whether it's a book that you're going to write, or whether if it's a speech that you're going to give, or it's you're part of the audience and you're listening. I think technology is a tool in whatever role you're playing in terms of communication. And having said that, as part of communication, I have a 5 point agenda. Like, what exactly do you need to be prepared? What are the things that you need to? There are many. Obviously, these are not the only things the only aspects out there, but I think these are paramount in bringing the concepts together, in bringing the pieces of the. Otherwise it's too broad. You have to narrow it down in some way or the other for you to focus on, so that way you'll know when you're going to choose the topic for your communication, or when you're going to speak on the topic that you've chosen. So these 5 tools, these 5 aspects that we're going to look at today will help you get there, or at least to narrow down your options. I'm not saying if you have more ideas, please feel free to follow that, but make sure you're not missing out on these 5 important ones when you're preparing for communication, whether it's choosing the topic or delivering the speech. It can be anything, like I kept repeating in the beginning. It can be any mode of communication, not just standing on the stage and holding a mic, right? It could be anything. So the first one is awareness, idea, communication, networking, and leadership. Just say networking and leadership, and data. And then Google Cloud is just something that I always love talking about. Like I said, I use technology as my tool of communication. That is like my safety blanket. If I don't know what I'm talking about, I'll just pick technology, because that's the thing that I've been doing for 16 years now. And wake me up in the middle of the night, I will be able to talk to any number of people about technology. Anything else, I'll be like, oh no. So it's like that. So that's why I just added that. In case it helps you, you can also follow suit. You can also take a look at some of the things that you have out there in Google Cloud that will help you get started. Anyway, the first thing, like I said right here, is awareness, or what I'd call learning, date learning. Like literally every single day, whether or not you're spending time with your with your better half or your partner, I think I would say you'll have to spend some time learning every single day if you want to be a speaker, or if you're going to speak in the near future or in some time. You need to know. You cannot just say, okay, I have been given these slides, I'm gonna memorize those slides and I'm gonna talk. No, don't do that. Of course, practice is important. Memorizing is not a bad idea. Do practice, do memorize, but without learning, without having that command over the topic, or command over the subject or area of interest, or the subject of the subject of the or the theme of the event, you are not going to be able to confident about yourself, standing in front of so many people, or even if it's one person, you won't be confident about opening your mouth if you don't know what you're going to talk about. So whether or not it's an audience of 2,000 people, whether or not it's your team meeting, whatever it is, it can be just one person. You're just standing, sitting in a one-on-one with your manager or your community. If I ask questions right now, you'll start talking about. If you're not listening to me through the end of the session, you probably will not open your mouth when there are questions, which is okay. I mean, it's 8 in the night on a Friday. You don't have to be listening. You can zone out if you want. But I'm saying, in any other scenario, that would be a problem because you would not be asking the right questions that you need. Probably your boss is asking you to relocate to a place that you don't want to, and you'd be sleeping. That is actually copied from my favorite series, so don't accuse me for that. Disclaimer. So anyway, learning is really important. What I'm trying to say is make it targeted and capsule size. Don't make it difficult in a way that, like for example, you will hate learning that. For example, don't have to sign up for a certification and call it learning. Just learn for the heck of it. Don't learn to with okay, I need, yeah, target is important. Always I'll say begin with the end in mind. That is actually one of the things, the second last thing that I've put in here. Begin with the end in mind, but the end doesn't always have to be a certification or an exam. It can be as simple as knowing something or building a project. Enjoy doing what you're doing. Enjoy learning what you do, what topic you're picking. Sorry, there is a small message, I think. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
there's a hand raise, I guess.
Is there a hand raise? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something?
Prachi, would you like to say something? Okay.
Cool. No worries. So that's what I'd say. Goal oriented, start with an end in mind, build a project, or whether it is when it comes, because we are talking about technical topic, I'm saying project. It could be anything. Project can be anything. For example, you want to talk about something in marketing and you want to implement your learning somewhere to see, just work, just freelance for free with some startup and see whether your the skills that you have learned can be put to good use, or just grab a friend and talk to them about the things that you have learned and just see how your marketing ideas are working or how your ideas are, and just ask them to quiz you, so stuff like that. So these are the things that I do, and I think it's important. The second aspect that I said is about idea. So why is ideas everywhere, right? Whether it's technology, business, communication, whatever it is, there is always ideas. There's always startups. If you're in Bangalore, every coffee day or every Starbucks has like 25 startup ideas booming every single day. Just because like people just they like to go there and sit and discuss things, and ideas blossom. So if you know the story of this, what is this person's? I forgot his name. He's this kid who works with Mr. Ratan Tata's office, his personal assistant, but he's more than that. He's like he
Oh,
manages all.
Shantanu.
Shantanu, Shantanu, yes, right. Thank you for that. So I don't know. So this person, I don't know his last name, but yeah, Shantanu is one person he started off as a kid. He had this empathy for things that all of a sudden transformed his life entirely. So he was this school kid, or he was just finished his college or something like that. And what he did was he was out or coming back from movies with his friends, and he noticed that these stray dogs were getting ran over by cars in the night, or ran over by people because there's no lights in the highways in the night. So what happens is these people just run over these stray dogs, and he really empathized with that. And what he was able to do was build a solution. He took the help of his friends, and he built a solution for that, is which is I think a dynamo, like the one that shines in the night, or the one that reflects light in the night. So he made those tags for the dogs, and he made sure that it reached all of the stray dogs. All he did was just get that done and distribute it through his friends, and that's how he was able to save lives. And he had some numbers as to how many lives, a dog's lives, he had saved over a period of so many months and years. So that is what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It has to be simple. There has to be a problem which needs attention, or any idea for that matter. There is, as long as you can empathize with a person. Like somebody had answered, what is I saw the word empathy in the chat. So empathy is the answer to anything. Any question you ask, empathy will fit in somehow. So just make sure that your ideas or the topics or anything that you choose has empathy incorporated in it. So does it mean we all have to be like generous, like in the sense like I'm going to donate so much? That is not what I'm talking about. If you like to do that and you can do that, please go ahead. But the thing is, just considering the other person, whether it's communication or whether it's an idea, It all begins at the point where at the point where you start thinking about someone else for a change, and that's what we call empathy as well. So incorporate that in the topic of your choice, in the things that you deliver in the form of communication, and also incorporate that in your ideas. Every single time you just go to the stage or hold a mic, or you're just communicating with the team, make sure that there is something in it that the people or the audience will appreciate, that they will learn from, or not even, it doesn't have to be a patent idea, right? It doesn't have to be something that is not that is like brand new to the world. No, that's not what I'm saying. But whatever it is, it can be useful enough. It can be embracing the differences in the room, or it can be something that you recognize as a problem, or just make sure that you have something called as an idea in anything that you're going to say. For example, for this topic of choice, I'm not saying this is a great idea. I could have reused some of the things that are available out there, put some charts and saying, hey, this is where the needs, the theme of the event needs to meet with your subject matter expertise, and then you need to know how much you can keep the audience attention. And then so I can take all this content that is out there already and I can talk about it, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something that is personal to me, something that I can connect to, whether I empathize with you or not. I don't know. You should tell me that at the end of the session. But what I understand is this, whatever you take away from this, should be presented in a way that you can remember, whether it's through my stories, or whether it's through the colors I'm using, or it's through the pointers that I make you remember through the session. So whatever it is, there should be something in it for you to take home, or that you can utilize immediately to transform the way you present or the topic you choose. So that is what I call as empathy, or embracing what you know about it. The idea can be as small as this, what I said, or it can be as good as Shantanu, who did something that not only transformed his life forever, that is a big deal, but also he touched the lives of so many stray dogs. Mr. Ratan Tata actually recognized that, and he immediately said, "Whatever you want to do next, finish that and come join me." So that doesn't happen every single time. That's an opportunity that he created for himself. So you never know whose life you're going to touch. So that's something I wanted you to remember. The next one is be a leader. Like I said before, communicate for impact. So when I'm communicating, you should be confident. So I should be confident in what I'm saying, and I should be confident about that it's relevant. You can relate to it. It happens sometimes. I'll be talking about something that people are like, okay, why the hell is she talking about this right now? There's probably a few people thinking like that. I would completely understand that. That is why, going back to my previous point, if you want to zone out, please feel free to do that. I feel these things are related to the topic today, so that is why I'm bringing these aspects to you. But if you find that this is irrelevant, I would appreciate that feedback. So you should always be embracing your intuitions, your thoughts, but at the same time, you should be open to learn. So that is what I call it as a true leadership as well. So be a leader, communicate for impact. If you're not confident about what you're saying, go back to the previous step, the first step, which is learning. Make sure you're confident. So if you're not, go back to learning. Um, so second thing is, when you're choosing a topic, it's not very common that everyone always knows what their area of interest is. You may have grown up thinking that you wanted to be a doctor or some medical in that medical field. But situation might have pushed you to do engineering, or situation might have pushed you to do something else that you're totally unrelated to. Or maybe you've happened to or grown to like it over years, or 5 years, 6 years, you've started liking it. But even then, it doesn't mean your area of interest has to remain the same. For example, you may like application development now, and eventually down the line, you may like data science. You may like machine learning. You want to learn about that, or you don't know anything about it, but you have a deep seated passion for something. For example, you like programming, but you have never done that, but you would like to do Python. You would like to learn and like to do it. You like to talk about that. So that happens all the time. It doesn't mean that if you're not experienced in a topic for less than 5 years, you cannot speak about that. That is not true. You can always learn and pick a topic that you're not really an expert in, but you have to learn. For sure, you have to go and learn and be confident about what you're saying. You can always keep learning, but if you don't start talking about it, or if you don't start communicating or practicing it with that conviction, then you will never get comfortable about it. So if you want to do something that is brand new, Work on it, do the homework, do the practice, grab a friend and talk to them and see where you're going wrong. But do not hesitate to pick that just because you've not spent years in that area, right? That's something I would say. And other things that would help is participate in events, hackathons, meetups. This will help you meet more people and see and learn different styles of communicating, different topics out there. For example, the most recent one, it was some people always take me by so I look at people in my own lens, in the sense that people surprise me in their own ways, and when I get surprised is when they get my 200% attention, right? I'll be like, I'll start asking questions to them more than what they even talk about. So that is really important. You don't even know who can surprise you, how they do that, and what you can take away from that. And there are so many occasions you won't believe that I've done completely outrageous just because I met something or met someone, sorry, met someone who inspired me to do that. So always participate in events like this. If you're in the hackathon zone, in the technology zone, hackathon, it might be a good place for you. Even if not, just go there for the heck of it and see what these people are doing, right? What are they talking about? Same thing with data events, meetups. Just socialize and find out. Discuss your ideas and doubts. Not the ones that you want to patent, though. But I'm just saying, if you're have those confidential, I'm sorry, trustworthy friends, those confidants that you can share your ideas and doubts with, do that. Network as much as you can, because area of interest doesn't have to be static all the time. It can change, even month over month it can change. It's all about being inspired and being an inspiration for others. Believe that you are a leader who can take that step to go and communicate, and act like one, like act like a leader. That's what I wanted to say. The next one aspect that I was talking about initially is data. Care for data. um, so I had a story prepared, but I'm gonna just slide on that story because I don't know. We'll come back to that story. That's a really no. Actually, I'll show you that story. I like that story. So can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a question for you. This is a slide which has two pictures. Of course, you know Andrea Agassi. I don't know if there are many tennis fans in the room. And the other person is Boris Becker. But if you're not interested, or if you're not interested about tennis, just ignore the names of the players or why I'm showing that. But the question here is, which anyone interested in general, even if you don't like tennis or don't know tennis, can take a look and answer that. It's just an observation problem. Um, Boris Becker and Agassi actually, initially when they started playing like years ago, after losing, sorry, Becker lost actually three matches in a row against Agassi. Sorry, it's the other way around. Agassi lost three matches in a row against Becker. So he went on to make all this. He took all the video tapes of all the angles and everything, and he started watching it over and over again. All the matches that he had lost against Becker and all the previous matches of Boris Becker, and he tried to analyze what is he doing, that that is so difficult for him to handle in the match, right? So he was not able to win the first three matches in a row, and that was not okay for him because he did not know why he was losing, and he wanted to know that. He was a data-driven person in himself, so he was looking at the videos himself over and over and over again, and then finally he understood the problem. He understood not the problem, that's completely irrelevant, but he understood something. He observed something from the videos that he used in the following matches, and he went on to win the next 9 or 11 matches against Boris Becker. And that was like historical. Everyone was talking about it, and even Boris Becker himself did not know why this happened. And later on, they discussed, and he almost fell off his chair learning that this is something that he didn't know about. The clue to that, what exactly did he observe, is right in this picture. Two pictures. You can look at this and tell me what you observe that led Agassi to learn to learn about Boris Becker, that changed the course of his game from that point. The clue is in the picture.
His servicing technique.
No. How did you observe his servicing technique?
He has his tongue out, ma'am.
Right, that is correct. Who said that?
Ma'am, he has his
Yes,
tongue
Arima,
out.
you're right. Arima, right?
I'm Majima Datta from
Yeah,
Kolkata.
yeah, yeah. That's what I asked. Thank you. Thanks for the answer. That is exactly right. He has his tongue out. Boris Becker has his tongue out. So the way he serves is, so why is tongue out an observation that saved 9 of the next 11 matches for Agassi? Because every time Boris Becker served to the center, his tongue would be in the center. If he served out wide to the outside the body, it will always go to the side of the side, that side of the mouth where he's about to serve. So that is a body language that Boris Becker had, that he did not know himself. He did not know that he was doing. He had the stick with his tongue that was out of his control. He did not even outside his control. Sorry, that he did not know about. And what all that Agassi did was just collect the data, just look at, follow that, see the patterns, and observe what he's doing. And he observed something that is not at all related to tennis, right? It's not related to tennis, but something in there just transformed the next few games for him. This is an interesting thing. This when I learned this, I was like, damn, that's great. So that's why I always care about data. We there's a saying, data doesn't lie, but I wouldn't say that. It's a possibility that you can go completely wrong, but still, uh, that's no reason to ignore data. There's always benefit in researching your opportunity areas, researching your interest areas. Look at the data, see what the data says. Like if I see right now, I like giving real world examples, my example. So I'm telling you right now, even though I had the story prepared, I was dicey about whether or not I want to share that because it's 8:30 and I don't know if it's storytelling time. But still, I went with data because every single time that I have shared the story in the past, there's always been interest, and people have blogged about it. People have reached out to me and talked about this example that they really connected with. So I know that I remember the data for a minute. Like, what am I doing? I'm trying to just walk over all my key triggers of the session. So definitely I didn't want to do that. So I didn't want to ignore data. So I came back to sharing the story. Now don't go back and tell me we hated the story just because I said this. If you like it, say so. But I'm just saying, just always research on the area of interest that you choose, because it is really important for you to analyze what you're saying. And sometimes it's really beneficial to show statistics, show numbers when you're talking. I personally prefer telling stories and not numbers because sometimes numbers scare people. I mean, it scares me majority of the time. Like if somebody's showing all numbers and graphs on the screen, I would enjoy that on my own. But when somebody's talking to me and all they can show is charts and numbers, I'm like, don't you have stuff to say? Don't you have words to say? So that's the thing that's going on in my mind. But that's a recommended opener for many people. Some people recommend opening with numbers. So I could be wrong in that. It's just my opinion. But yeah, you can always open with numbers, can help you in actually presenting your talk also. So that's the thing. If it were me, I wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying that's a thing. You can definitely use numbers to your advantage and present it in a way that people like. It's just my thing that I don't normally. Oh, yeah, no, that's not entirely true. There is one number I use often. I did not use that today, but that's for another day. If you ever have another session of talk with me, you'll see that number. If we get to talk about that, then I'll definitely show that to you. Don't ask me why you're showing numbers. There are few things, there are few exceptions in my scenario also. But yeah, I would say if you're able to make people connect to your numbers, then go for it. There's nothing like that. That's why I always say, don't ignore the data. Um, Utilize the power of data in your talk. And opportunities in cloud, where I said about Google Cloud, this doesn't have to be just technology oriented. This doesn't have to be Google Cloud. The reason I'm telling about Google Cloud is because I can't talk about every technology out there. I cannot talk about every single topic of choice that's out there that you can use. So that's why I wanted to, like I always do, I'll take a sample and I'll talk about things from within that sample, but go for it. Go out and reach wide. If you have other areas of interest, or if you have other technology platforms that you'd like to engage with. And it doesn't even have to be just technology. It can be anything. You can talk about anything under the area of under your hood. If it's something that's your area of interest, go for it. That's how I would personally prefer. The things that I spoke to you about in the last few minutes about the 5 aspects. So those are the tools that I will use to choose my topic. But in my case, it has so far been either technical or this one, like the one that I'm talking to you right now. This is rare. This is like it's about 98% technical and 2% I get the opportunity to talk about things like this, which I appreciate. I enjoy this. I like to share this kind of things very much. So anyway, the opportunities in cloud, if you're looking for areas to choose from, both from a technology perspective and for from a non-technical but domain-oriented thing, there's a bunch of options here. You can talk about entrepreneurship, you can talk about tech entrepreneurship, you can talk about app development, you can talk about data engineering, analysis, analytics, AI, ML, BI. BI is an area which is not necessarily technical. It's either math or business. And then business analysis, you can just talk about how I sold this car, for instance, right? And then you can talk about what is your business, what does your business want, or how to make actionable insights from your business. So these are all topics that you can choose from, if that is your area of interest. Integration engineering, technical again. Marketing analytics, it's not technical. It's data, it's business, marketing, and all that. Sales expertise, you can talk about that. I once interviewed a sales representative in ET&T when I was in the US, just for the heck of it. I just wanted to hear from someone that I've from an area that I'm not even remotely related to. So I was just sitting there and asking him sales techniques and what he does and all, just to understand people, right? I'd go out and do that sometimes. One day I went to Starbucks. I sat there for 45 minutes just talking to them about what they do and just looking at them. And I'm telling you, till date, data says that that's my most loved story whenever I talk. So I choose my topics. I choose my stories from real world, even if I'm talking about technology. And then customer experience is an excellent area to talk about if you're in that domain. So no matter what your area of interest is, there are indefinite options. You just have to look and empathize around you. And another important thing, now this is probably what you were looking for from the beginning. Okay, how the hell I do it? I know I have a topic. I know what I have to talk about. Sometimes you don't even have have a choice. You are given a topic. You have to talk about it. Now, what will you do? If it's technology or whether it's not technology, it's something else, you're sharing an experience or you're sharing your project, your teamwork, how would you do that? So this is the structure that I always follow. This is my Bible template. Why? I always start with the business value. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Like I did in the beginning, like I asked you one question, how many opportunities do you need? It's not necessarily always, I don't call it as why or business value. I will just make you think in a way that relates to this. So it's all about transforming your opportunity to talk or your opportunity to communicate into, transforming your life with the opportunity to communicate. That is the ultimate business value, right? So I always open with the why. And if it's technology, it can be, for example, yesterday in Google Cloud Next, I was talking about database, right? What are some of the things that are new in a particular in Cloud SQL database in Google Cloud? I started saying about why would someone want that? So you have to talk about what the problem area is and how we solved it, and not how we solved it. Sorry, why are you doing what you're doing? What value does it add? So I started with what will change in their lives for the teams who are adopting these changes, right? So always start with the why, the business value, and then what. Then you have to really come to the point where you're saying, this is what I'm talking about. Now, if I'm just saying, okay, the opportunity, think of that one opportunity you have, create your own opportunity. It'll be like, why should I do that? What are you talking about? So introduce your agenda, talk about what you're going to do, what you're going to talk about, explain, elaborate on it. If this is where you actually say a story, this is where you actually say a statistic, you can do that with the why and what, both are possible. And then how you did it, how it works. It can be any how you did it. Like, for example, if you made a sale for $1 million and your team is asked to talk about it, you can say how you did it. What are the best practices and standards and guidelines you followed? Or it can be a product, and you can guide the team to with a how-to guideline and say how you did it. What is the architecture if it's technical, and what are the steps you took to get the final working solution that you can say. If it's business, marketing, or anything else beyond that, you can say how you achieved it. And then demo. In the technology world, demo is fairly straightforward. It's also straightforward if it's non-technical, as long as you are, which you will see right now. The thing is, putting the things that you talk about in action, basically walk the talk. Whatever you heard from me right now, whatever I'm saying, I'm actually living it. I'm actually associating what I'm speaking with the things that I said. So that in itself is a live demo, because otherwise I don't have any, I can't play a video from yesterday to show you a demo of what I spoke, right? I can do, but I don't want to do that. I mean, anyone, if there is a person who figures that's the way to show of some video out there, some any YouTube video, not necessarily their own, not necessarily my own, or I can show anything, but I'm not a person who will play videos of somebody else, or videos of something that is not a demo in the middle of my session, because that is distracting. But what I'd rather do is I'll relate that to the real time thing that's going on. I might ask you a question, or I might ask myself a question and then say, this is why I did that. Because you will be able to correlate the points that I'm talking about. That's the demo in a non-technical world. In a technical world, like I said, it's fairly straightforward. Make sure your demos are actually working beforehand. If in a technical communication aspect, you're coming to an audience and you're actually trying to deploy a solution live, more 80% of the times don't do that. Record your videos and just show the video, in the sense video of application, not you speaking, but the video of the demo that you're trying to show, because sometimes things get slow and you will not know what goes wrong. You don't want to get nervous. You don't want to break your head over something that's not working and ruin your all those 4-point great moments that you had right before that, and then come to a point where the demo is not working. So always prepare well for the demo. If you know that something can go wrong, make sure you have a backup video, or just go with the video. It's okay. No one's going to say, go to Google Cloud Console right now and show me the solution deploy. If they ask, then you can do it. Or if you want to show it live, like coding changes and all, make sure it works and it's not time consuming. And the last part of your discussion should be call to action. They should be it for anything, whether it's whatever field of interest yours is. You should always end with either connecting to them, or giving them an agenda, or asking them to work on some of the problems that you discussed during the session, or asking them to reach out to you or stay connected, whatever you want to achieve. Whether you want more leads, you want more subscriptions, you want more registrations, whatever it is, this is your area. You can say that directly, or you can slide it in a way that they will not realize that it's a call to action. So that's the structure that I usually follow. Tips, this is very important. I'll just leave it on my screen for like a few minutes, few seconds. Read and read. The most important part is the one that's in the white box out there, which is breathe. Meaning before starting the session, like spend 2 minutes just for breathing. If you're on the stage up there talking, or if you're just talking in general, or if you're in a meeting and you have to speak, find your voice. I mean, I'm not saying you have to scream or yell or be choosing a voice that will scare people away, but find a voice that is in between too soft and too loud, and in a pace. Choose a pace that works for you and that works for the audience to follow. I mean, I myself still can't control my speed. Sometimes I get really fast, really rushed, and my words are cramped sometimes. But that's why I consciously changed my accent in a way that my words are pronounced clearly. I will, if I'm talking to our audience, I mean, I'll make sure I'm not using any kind of an accent, or I'm not using that rolling my tongue. Maybe unconsciously I do sometimes, but I consciously try to avoid that, and make sure my words, the pronunciation of the words I choose are really strong, because sometimes I can't control my speed. But if you're a person who can control your speed, you're solid. And then focus on your body language. Always talk with all of your body. Use your hands, use your face the audience, use your eyes, be expressive. It's okay. Don't worry about how you look. I mean, nobody looks great when they're actually talking. Like, I don't know. I've not seen a speaker who looks stunning in all the frames of the video. Of course, they'll look great in a picture or in some parts of the video, but if you're involved, because people need to see that you're involved, you have to be part of it. So always focus on your body language. Take ownership, like use eyes a lot, like I did this. Even if you're getting angry in the middle of a session, don't say like, you can't do that and all, you're wrong. Don't use words like that. Always say, you can say things like, I did not understand that, or I think there's a better way to put that. Always use eyes. And listen and watch carefully. You're not just talking, you're not communicating, right? When you're, there's another question I wanted to ask. When you're communicating or talking to somebody, it's not just you who's communicating. The person who's listening, or the person you're talking to, is, whether they're listening or not, they are also communicating. If they are listening, they are communicating to you that they are following you, they're hoping that you'll give them something useful. If they're not listening, they're communicating to you that they already lost hope, all hopes on you, like they don't care anymore. So that's a communication as well. So always watch out for that. Listen to what they're asking or what they're saying, and watch to what they're doing or what they're trying to communicate. Use visual context, like I did. I showed you a picture for my stories. You can do whatever works for you. You can show graphs, charts, numbers. Remember, you can say no. There are questions which you might be pressured to say yes in the flow of the thing just to make people happy. Don't do that. Remember, there's always no as an answer, or say don't know. If I'll find it out, or there's other people that I can connect you with. If there is someone in the audience that you know is an expert in that area, say, hey, you meet you. I mean, A meet B, B meet A. You guys can, he can answer you or she can answer you this question. Always remember that. Check, not you emotions, that's a typo, I'm sorry. Check your emotions. If you're too happy or too angry, too unhappy, make sure too happy is, I guess, okay, but you don't want to be too high that your words are staggered. Sometimes it happens. So you don't want to do that. So always check your emotions. That is why you go back to breathing. The next one, open posture before you start. You can do a quick jumping jacks. Like, don't get so much that people start moving away from you that you stink. Not many, but do as much as you can that makes you feel open and makes you feel free. You are an actor on the stage who is being themselves, right? So make sure you're doing all that. So I wanted to give hands-on time, but now we have only 10 minutes. So let's take about 3 minutes. I know there was a hand up. I purposely did not get back just because I wanted to finish this. Uh, I'll reserve the question to the end, but unless if it's something really pressing, would you be able to hold it off for the last 5 minutes? Because the next 3 minutes, I want you to think of a topic and just take 2 minutes to think, and the last minute to just type it out there. I just want to see what you all got there. So just ping your topics of choice or topics of choice. If you have to talk tonight, 1 hour from now, what would be at the topic of your choice? And if you want to type in some more, please do. But you have 3 minutes. At 8:55, I'll open for questions.
Is there a time limit for your talk?
My talk.
No, no. In the sense, you said choose a topic about which we can talk about, right?
Yeah. Just you have 3 minutes. 8:55. We'll go to the next. I'll start talking about something else. So you have 3 minutes to choose your topic and type in the chat message here in the meeting chat.
Okay, my question was this: in case we are talking, for how long do we have to talk?
Oh,
So you don't have to give the presentation here. It is just about tossing the topic or just
I just
tossing
want
the
to
name of the topic that you would present. That's it.
let's say your talk is, let's say you have, if in reality you have to talk about it, let's say it's a 30-minute talk. Choose your topic like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I started getting some very nice.
Hmm.
Low-code data solutions, curiosity, interesting, Rajalakshmi. I'd like to see what you want to say about curiosity, but maybe Haley, we can follow. Anyway, you're going to send out, please take a note of all these topics.
Yeah. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Journey of building a community, love that. Cloud for everyone, amazing. Women in cybersecurity, awesome topic. Very, I think very important for this day and age. From non-tech to tech, the journey. I'm getting goosebumps. Good one. MIUI version of Android operating system. Okay. That is very specific. I like that. How to be self-independent, not tech. Okay. You mean self-dependent. Independent is being self-dependent. So how to be independent, that should be a topic, but it's great. It's a good one, always important. How to make your Angular app secure. Very needful topic of the day. Like I always say, security is, if you're I don't know if there are any men in this room. I don't want to sound like a moron, but yeah, it's good to focus on security. I'll just stop there. I don't want to sound like a moron anyway. But then what's the next topic? How to make your Angular app secure. Yeah. Introduction to Google Colab. Yeah, that's a very nice. Data Studio. You should do that first. That's a great topic. Yari. How to stay calm while learning. I'm not saying Collab is not a great topic, but Data Studio has a lot of audience. Data says that. Data Studio, people want to learn about it. Google Collab, yes, but there are data focused target audience for it. Data Studio are both technical and non-technical people want it. So your audience section is huge. How to stay calm while learning. Yeah, important. Leadership and empowerment, very important. My topic would be Cloud for everyone. Always on production theory, how to present best version of you when you're emotionally drained due to overwork. Oh, yeah, you have to practice yoga. That's my, I can say all other things which are philosophical, but no, there's a short answer. Practice yoga or do some form of exercise that involves breathing. That's what helped me. No matter what, I'm doing that. Even if you're burned down and you cannot work out. Yeah, Prachi. Yeah, you can ask me.
Ma'am, I only asked that question. So the thing is, like you said, right? It's always production. So people are continuously watching you, observing you. So if you are burned down or emotionally drained, some way it comes in your body language, right? No matter how you try to hide it. So how you, and if you're presenting, then how you make sure that you're concealing all those emotion and give the best.
No,
So
no, that's
any
see,
thoughts?
that's a wrong thing to do. I'm not asking you to
Okay.
conceal your emotions and act in
Okay.
your life. That's a bad thing you're setting for yourself. You're putting setting
Okay.
yourself up for failure. That's danger. Don't do that. What I'm saying is be conscious as to what you're communicating. See, you can be
Mm-hmm.
tired and you can communicate that in a way that the other person is not offended. You let's say this bottle is right here. I'm tired. I'm just throwing this bottle out to communicate that I'm angry or I'm tired. That's a communication too? Is that going to help somebody? No. But rather, if I'm saying I'm really tired and exhausted, the only thing I want to do right now is sit and breathe or talk to you, or you talk, I'll listen, or just play some old music and chill out, unwind, or have a glass of wine or something like that and unwind. Do say the things out loud. That is, I'm not asking you to conceal. That's a wrong understanding. What I'm saying is communicate in a way that is productive for you and for the audience.
So, sorry if I misinterpret. So basically, ma'am, when I say conceal, it means that if you're, presenting some topic and you're not in a very good, state of mind, but the folks for which you are presenting, they're very enthusiastic. So how you make sure that your all those burned out things and negative emotion is not affecting your presentation? Is there any trick,
Got
anything?
it. Sorry, I misunderstood your question. Then it's my bad. Yeah, that happens all the time. You probably had a fight at home with somebody, or you just going there, and or you had a bad traffic, or you somebody just yelled at you, and then you have to go and present a technical topic, or you have an enthusiastic audience, like you said. That's why I always say do jumping jacks. It will tire you out that you'll forget everything else. It will pain you so much that you will forget everything else. There's no better pain than that. So do jumping jacks, do some breathing. That's it. There is no way. Clear your mind is not a statement that I'll ever say, because that's physically not possible. At least not until you have reached that state of translucence. So what I would say is just do jumping jacks. It will tire you out, and you'll have something else to think about, which is only one thing, that you'll remember the stuff that you have to talk about, and you will remember the pain in your body because you did that thing. Your body is now open, a lot of oxygen in. You'll have oxytocins rushing. You'll have um, you'll have all those happy hormones rushing. So you have something good going on. So that's a practical solution that I would say. Does that help, Prachi? You're on mute. Okay. Any other question we have?
I guess Priyal has a question for you.
Yeah, Priya.
Yeah, so firstly, I have wanted to say it is really a great session. And
Thank
after
you.
that, you have shared some tips like regarding what we have to do, like in previous slides, like focus on body language. Remember,
Is she breaking up only for me?
Yeah, she's breaking for me as well.
say no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, now.
Hello, am I audible?
No, no, you just
Okay, so I'm
yeah,
hello,
yeah. Now you're audible. Go ahead, Priya.
hello. Okay, so I'm saying about like you shared some tips in previous slides, like focus on body language. Remember, you can say no. So my question is, suppose I am kind, so mostly I can say yes to the people in most of the times. So I don't know like how to deal with, how can I say no to the people in what situations, in professional
I'm
and
going to
personal both.
recommend I'm going to recommend two books because that answer to that is not enough. It's we don't we don't have enough time to cover the answer to that question. So I'm going to recommend two books. Read that. One is How Not to Say Yes When You Want to Say No, and the other one is You Are a Badass. Read those two books. They are brilliant books. Okay,
Oh, thank you so much.
that has exactly answers to the question. Very practical answers. Yes, Jyoti.
Sometimes, okay, hey, Abhi, hey everyone. Sometimes what happens with me whenever like I am talking at a meetup, I end up being like one of the youngest speaker kind of a thing. And that time I lack confidence. So like how can I overcome situations like that if I end up being at a situation like that? And being a woman, like I always feel sometimes like seeing a lot of men in the room and one or two female attendees, I feel like why don't like more girls coming up to join these meetups and learn technology?
Did
So
you speak?
how to deal
Did
with
I
that?
see you in DevFest Bangalore? You were there, right?
No, not in DevFest Bangalore. We
We
met
met
in
in
Cloud
CCD
Community
Kolkata.
Days, and then yeah, and then I spoke in Cloud Community Days, New Delhi.
What was the first one that you said? Cloud Community Day, where?
Cloud Community Days, Kolkata. We met, and
Oh, yeah,
then I spoke in the
yeah, yeah. See, the thing is, you're young and you feel like you're the youngest one out there, and you've already chosen your topic. You're already in front of so many people trying to talk. That itself should give you confidence. There are so many people who are 10 years or more experience, and no offense, but they still cannot open up because of all these factors. So don't let this fear grow, because this will only grow with time. So just kill that fear right away, because you're already doing that. That should give you the confidence that you think that you lack, because otherwise you'd be in the crowd and somebody else from the crowd would be there talking, right? But that's not the case. You are there. So that should tell you that it's not about whether one person is better than the other or not. That tells you that you are doing that because you want to do it. You're meant to do it, and you can do it. That's why you're doing it. So yeah, there is going to be, even after so many saying so many things about communication, all, even I have those kind of moments, but that's when I breathe. That's when I tell myself, okay, this is going to be okay. I just want to talk. I just want to go deliver this. So if you have that empathy, if you know that you're doing this for the people the people who are listening, and practice and learn. If you're nervous, it means you have not practiced properly. You did not have enough time to prepare. If you had time to prepare, then you would not have that kind of anxiety or fear. So prepare so much that nothing else can take you down. If you don't know a specific answer to a question, it's okay to say, I'm sorry, I don't know, maybe that is something I'll have to think about, or it's too difficult for me to frame the answer for that right away in the session. Can we meet offline, or can I meet you behind the stage once I get on, so we can discuss about it? I like that question. So use these words. Okay.
that answers
Oh,
it. Thank you.
Pyari's answer is funny. Come on, Pyari, you can do it. Arpita. Haley, just a few more questions and then I'll show my social handle and then we can wind up. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Yes, yes, Pyar. Yes, Arpita.
Yeah, so my question was, do you ever face procrastination? And if yes, how do you overcome it?
Procrastination, and what's the next one?
That's it. I mean, how do you overcome it if you ever face something like that?
Okay, I'm going to tell you one line that that worked for me. I'm going to tell you this line. If if you're procrastinating, tell yourself, or forget about it. The one line that I want to say is, you won't procrastinate for the things that you believe your life depends on. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you believe that your life is dependent on that, you will not procrastinate. So what that means is think of everything in such a way that your life is dependent on it. Only then you will not procrastinate. There is no shortcut. Motivational talks can help you 3 days, but after that you're still procrastinating. You have to really do the things that matter to you, and you have to tell yourself that your life depends on it. Otherwise, you won't. You will procrastinate. It's okay to see. A productive procrastination is okay. Meaning, there is a book called there's an Adam Grant's book. I'll tell you the name of the book probably later. So the book says you can do progressive procrastination, which means some people work really creative under pressure. Like if you have 2 weeks to do something and they cramp the time to 2 days, and you have to do it all in 8 hours time as opposed to, or 16 hours time as opposed to all that 80 hours that you had. You get brilliant ideas, or in the last two days you get brilliant ideas that you actually put together and work on. But during the 2 weeks that you have, the remaining 8 days that you have in the rest of the 2 weeks, if you continue to keep grinding behind the scenes in your head, that is called productive procrastination, meaning, or progressive procrastination, meaning you're thinking about it all the time. You're thinking of ideas, you're intending to solve the problem, and using those last 2 days to put it into paper or put it in action. Then that is not really procrastination, because you're watching a movie. You cannot think. Let's say you're in the gym, you're actually on the treadmill, but behind the scene you're thinking about this problem that you have to solve. Then that means you're continuing to work on it, because success is like 90% intention and 10% action. When I say intention, it's thinking about it, planning for it, designing it. Designing is important. So throughout those 8 days you're designing, the last 2 days you're implementing, which is okay. But what is not okay is just procrastinating it so much that you choose not to do it. Then that is when you have to tell yourself your life depends on it. Then you won't. Sorry, was there another last question we'll take?
Yeah, we'll have the last question. We are from Toshali.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi everyone, and a great, lovely presentation. Thank you so much for that. So, I'll go on with my question. So, my question is that I'm a part of some speaker engagements, but usually I do not have enough time to prepare for my talks. So, what are some of the key things that I should keep in mind when I don't have enough time to prepare?
Don't go for the presentation if you don't have time for preparation. That's all I would say. Seriously, there's no other way out. I'm so sorry. You will you will
Yeah,
you will lose all confidence. You will embarrass yourself. Don't go.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it, got it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you my site's link here that has all my socials. It has some technology blogs below that, all on Google Cloud, and um, it also has my bio. But I think she already told you what is in there. She already read it out loud. But yeah, feel free to stay in touch if you have other questions, and feel free to use these tips. I think Haley will reach out to you for taking this assignment into action.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really glad I could do this. I'm so happy to talk to you. Tanvi, I saw your LinkedIn handle. Can you connect with me? Yeah, just see my LinkedIn. I saw a couple of folks shared their LinkedIn ID here, but please feel free to connect with me because I didn't copy paste the chat messages. So I've sent you my site. Feel free to send requests from there. You can connect with all my socials if you like. Deba Kripa, I know your hand is raised. Did you have a question, new question, or was this from before?
No, this is a new question. I'm sorry, this is a bit off topic, but
One last question, Haley. That's it. Okay.
yes. Technology. Mostly we see that people who work with technology, they have spectacles, and you have had 16 years experience working with technology. May you please tell how did you manage not to get spectacles?
No, I didn't manage not to get specs. I had LASIK surgery done 16 years ago. So there you go. I was wearing heavy glasses. I had -4 and -4.5, one in each. Okay, so I had heavy glasses. So yeah, I got LASIK done. There goes your answer. That was long back. I was 20 years old when I got this the last exam will be done.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I think actually we are done with the time, Savvy. I'm really sorry, but you have my social handles, right? You can ping me on Instagram. I'm pretty much very responsive there. So no, don't email me if you have questions like this. I can immediately answer on Instagram because I get to my emails like only once in 2 3 days. So ping me on Instagram, okay? Or
Well,
LinkedIn. LinkedIn works too. Thanks, Haley. Thanks for the opportunity. Sorry for the delay.
no, that's totally fine. I am glad that we had a really good conversation here, and I must say, Abhi, I mean, I have been knowing you, and I mean, even I have been loving to hear your talks. But I mean, I just felt even better to have you along with the cohort that we have. I got to learn even more, as I always say. I get to learn even more whenever I meet you, and especially a couple of things that you mentioned. I mean, those were new for me as well. And one of the things that touched me was mentioning I in your talks, right? Because many of the times, especially women, they don't mention I. They just say, we do it, or let us do it, let us do this, right? That happens many a times. And that was really one of the things that was like underlining, that is still there, but that was not out there, right? So one of those things. And your tips and tricks are really great. I hope they were also helpful as they were to me. And absolutely insightful session, Abhirami. So thanks for giving your time, your energy, and your knowledge to all of us. And thank you to all the women out there who joined us at this point of time. I hope it has been insightful for you as it has been for me. And I'll be following up, as Abhi said, I'll be following up with an assignment or with a quick 10-minute exercise after this workshop, so that, we have a really good way to exercise what we learn whenever we try get to learn every week. So that's it from my end. You'll all will be getting a recording of this session, of every session, as I say. And feel free to ping me for your questions. I'll be there for you. Thanks for joining in. That's it. Good night. Thanks, Abhi.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Have a great
Thank
weekend.
you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Now.